What's up, guys? Welcome. My name is Leon.
Hey everybody, welcome. MyFirstDealStory.com podcast. My name is Brittany Thompson. You already know his name.
Leon Thompson right here, guys.
Y'all, we just wanted to throw this out here. This is something that's brand new and it's something that's been on both of our hearts. And it's just another way to impact, empower, inspire, all the ends to get you past whatever limiting beliefs you have to do your first real estate deal. I promise you all, this podcast is going to be amazing. We're going to have coaches. We're going to have people from all over the country sharing how their first deal went in real estate, how they found it, how they got it, and how they closed it. And it is our hope that you can take, or anyone looking to get into real estate investing can listen to these stories, eliminate their limiting beliefs, and take action. Now, on the flip side of this, we also help people get their very first real estate deal. So if you or someone you know are interested in getting involved in real estate, and maybe you think the market's saturated, or maybe you think you have to have a bunch of cash or credit or rich uncle, auntie, cousin, brother, sister. Y'all know what I'm saying. If you think that you got to know it all, if you think that you have to have a real estate license, let me tell you something. You don't. You can do this starting right now. And we have a program in place to help you accomplish this in 90 days or less. So thank y'all for tuning in. Two calls of action here. One, if you're interested in getting your first real estate deal done in 90 days or less, visit getmyfirstdeal.com.
Yes. And if you've got experience already, if you've already gotten your first deal, come on over to our podcast. We love to have you. We love to connect with you and get your story out there, your first deal story.
Yes. So where can they go, babe?
Yes. Well, you can connect with us on Facebook, connect with us on YouTube,
or they can go
to myfirstdealstory.com.
Boom! We're going to talk about the when, the where, and the how. We're going to take the blanket off. We're going to blow the lid up. We're going to expose all of the limiting beliefs and the lies out there, and we're going to inspire other people. So come tune in. Whether you're new or whether you're experienced, I'm fired up. I can't wait to connect with you. Peace!
See ya.
All right. All right.
We live.
Yeah.
All right. Hey, shout out to Leon. Hey, shout out to Leon again, because he hit me off with the consecutive phone call thing. You remember you told me that?
Yep.
Hey, man. Hey, it hit every time.
Yeah, it does. Yep.
It does. I mean, only got cussed out one time.
Man, you can have that. You can even have your do not disturb on. If you hit them up 2-3 times in a row, it turned that do not disturb off, and they got to pick it up. Like, what's up?
Yeah, let me see who this is.
That's my secret, man. That's my secret. Oh man.
Oh my gosh. So for everybody coming on, first things first. What's up, everybody? Happy Thursday. It's another edition of the MyFirstDealStory.com presenting one of our success students, Jefferies. I love this because this is like what is it like? Not premonition. It's like this is like a sign.
You really felt that this was going to happen. This premonition, right?
Kind of, sort of, a little bit. I'm going to go weird on people.
Yeah.
Anyway, my name is Brittany. Look, I know you had a vision. My name is Brittany Thompson. This is
Leon Thompson.
And look, welcome to this podcast, y'all. The purpose of this podcast is to impact, inspire, and influence aspiring investors in their journey of real estate investing. It's meant to remove the limiting beliefs of why you can't or shouldn't invest in real estate, with stories from investors all over the world showing how they found, got, and closed their first deal. This podcast is meant to create a community showing no matter who you are, where you're from, and what you've done, that you can find, get, and close your first real estate deal. So I'm super excited to have one of our very own success students, Jefferies, in the building, baby. Close his first deal, baby. I'm so excited.
Yes.
Woo!
Let's go.
Introduce
I
yourself.
love that intro. Thank you for the intro. Yeah, I'm Jefferies, and I just want to say again, thank you for Leon and Brittany. Man, y'all been holding it down, and y'all such a force, such a power couple, the epitome of a power couple, united on one front, ambitious, investing in the others. Man, I love y'all forever for life. But anyways, yeah, I'm Jared Jefferies, and yeah, I'm just a person that believed that they could and needed a little help, and hey, I got a little help and a little guidance, and I was able to close my first deal.
Oh, and we're going to get into it, right?
Yeah,
we're going to talk about it.
Yes.
Before we get there, because I'm big on people identifying themselves and others, because that's what really, I've noticed that's one of the things that inspires me when I'm listening to somebody tell their story. So if you could just give them a little background about you, your family, what you do, and we'll go ahead and jump into your first deal story and rock and roll. So talk to the people.
Yeah, so I live in Irondale, Alabama. I'm married to one, Mia Jefferies. My queen, she's not with me right now. Shout out. I got three boys, Carter, Elliot, and Esias. And that's a whole nother, that's a whole nother, that's a whole nother thing in itself. I love my boys. And yeah, I work for the railroad. As you can probably hear behind me, I live in Irondale. There's a yard right here, so pardon the horns and all of that stuff going on in the background. I'll let you know we really out here.
We outside.
Yeah, we outside. But yeah, so I work for the railroad, and like my wife kind of talked me up in the real estate. She just kept hitting me across the head with it, until I bowed in submission. I said, okay, let me try this out, and I just kind of got started, and I just immediately went to cold calling people because I heard that was the hardest part. So I just like to dive in. So I'm like, if this is or is not gonna work, I want to see from the jump. Let's see what it's about. And I started making calls and I started getting seller conversations, but there was a divide. I guess you can say I really didn't know what I was doing. I guess that's what you can put it. Yeah. So yeah, and that's kind of when I linked up. That's kind of when I linked up with you through my wife, and I reached out to you, and that's kind of how it got started. Um, really having legs and really having direction. Kind of learning how to do this, and you know.
I love it. Thank you for sharing that. And just for the people, because I know there's a lot of people, not like even for ourselves, right? Before we really knew we were doing, it's so easy to just go and follow, go on YouTube University, see all these strategies, all these shiny distractions. So tell me this, Jared, before you found me, tell me the time frame between when you learned about real estate or real estate investing and what, like the time that you went through your education or your season of trying to figure it out. How long did it take you before you said, all right, B, let's do this?
I would say 9 months.
Woo! 9.
Yep.
He had a whole baby. Wow, 9 months.
A few seasons.
Growing in his womb, right?
So, he was birthing entrepreneurship. See, you can't, there's certain things you just simply can't skip on this journey. And he was going to get it in one way or the other, but I love that he was just already out there.
Yeah. And there was two things that I think that he has said so far that I know some of our listeners are going to want to talk a little bit more about. This is the fact that he believed and he took action. And that's really the heart and a lot of the foundation you got to already have to be successful at anything. You got to believe in it and you got to take action. And once you have that, then you come paired up with someone that has the knowledge that can back you up, that can help push you in the right direction, can help guide you. Everybody needs a guide in life, especially if they haven't done it before.
Absolutely.
Whether it's GPS, navigation, whatever else you need in life, you're going to need a guide if you haven't done it before.
Yes, that's absolutely right. And I remember, I think we connected in October. Is that right? Of last year?
Something like that. I think so.
Wow. And you closed your first deal. What was that? Was that December?
It was like December the 30th.
Wow. Good night. We gonna get into it. We gonna get into it. Thank you for giving us some background and our listeners some background, because people need to hear their excuses or their reasons demolished. You were ready, you were open, and you took action. And what's funny is I was actually watching our consultation video, and I told you, I was like, you need to watch it. Watch this real quick. I don't know if you had a chance to. I said, watch this before we do this interview. And what I wanted you to see is your growth. You were determined. And I know that you're gonna do amazing, because now you have a blueprint and you know what to do. Right? Talk to us about how you found the deal. That's gonna be good.
So the deal that I closed for my first deal, I actually got that under contract maybe 2 weeks into starting the course. And I spent, so the day actually when we first talked and you was like, okay, we're gonna start, and these kind of gonna be the expectations or whatever, X amount of deals. I want you to bring X amount of leads per week. And I was like, okay, boom, I'm treating it like I'm a student, you know what I mean? You're a teacher, like we in college or something like that. So I'm like, all right, I'm about to come to class ready. So the weekend going into which would be the first week, I had already went and got like 100 leads. I was coming back from church. Yeah, I was coming back from church, and we just went driving for dollars, and just gathering leads, and I reached out and just got a deal. Spoke to this brother, the seller. He was real professional and everything, and we was able to negotiate. A deal, a sales price, and there was kind of a gap in between. Obviously, this was around October. We closed in December, where I did marketing, looking for a buyer.
Okay, I love it. And so you had already started taking action before us, right? But within a couple of weeks of coming on board, it's like something changed. What was it that you feel like allowed you or put you in a space where you're ready to negotiate and contract? What was the thing? And I don't want to toot our horns. I really want to know, what was it for you that was the difference?
Yeah, go ahead and toot it. Don't be ashamed. Don't be bashful. If you deserve to toot it, go and toot it. Yeah, definitely. Just having that confidence. Just being able to like the resources that you gave me as far as knowing how to do comps, because I was kind of familiar with comps, what they were supposed to do, but I wasn't really confident in like getting them, so having the resources to know like, okay, this is what everything else is kind of selling for and trading for around, so you need to be around here somewhere. So that kind of gave me confidence, a guideline to start negotiating. And yeah, just that confidence and just like that direction. I remember one of the first things you told me was stay in your market. If you're in Irondale, focus on Irondale. And ever since then, I've been living and dying in Irondale. Like, this is my only, you know what I'm saying? I didn't went driving for dollars, bike riding for dollars. Now I'm walking for dollars. I can't miss nothing. I need to get everything. For real. So yeah, just that direction and structure. It kind of took a lot of this. I had like a million things in my mind, and you kind of cut out a lot of the unnecessary stuff. So then it was like, okay, boom, all right. So we just need these goals. Okay, boom, let's hit this goal. You hit this goal, boom, that's where you're gonna be at. So that helped me out major.
I love it. So what I hear you say is the difference between when you started earlier last year and of course coming on board with us is the competence. We're talking about comping. So that's like basic information. That's like education. The confidence, because now you have a structure. Now you know why you're doing what you're doing, and clarity, right? It sounds like those are the three things that once you found it, once you were, talking with us. Okay, this is what I'm supposed to. And I think that really is the three main obstacles that prevent a lot of people from having success, is that they don't have it. Yeah. Right. Yeah. So I love that. And so you now all of a sudden you go from, I was out driving for dollars beginning of last year. I would find somebody's phone number, I would call them, but I don't know what I'm saying. Now, several months later, okay, I know.
Crazy.
Yep.
Just making a fool of yourself.
It's learning though, isn't it?
Right. That's true.
How do we get better without taking action? Nobody does this thing perfectly. It's not realistic.
Yeah. Hey, and it builds your I would say it builds your persistence and your determination up. When you signing crazy, you're getting rejected, and it's like you really have to decide, like, do I really want to do this? Is this really for me? You know what I mean? So it does help in that way, even when you learn it the hard way.
Wow, that's so good. So you drove for dollars, you identified the property, you found it. Now let's talk about getting the seller. How did you get them? How did you connect with them?
The first thing I did was I went and got signs from Home Depot. I went and made some signs, put them up, put them up in the yard, just basically just marketing the property, with my phone number on there. And it was pretty good. I would say that. Like, I put it, looking back at it now, I probably would do it a little different as far as how I do the market, how I do the signs, but it was pretty good. I got calls pretty regularly. I wasn't getting blown up about it, but I can tell that I had marketing. And so I was getting calls from sellers, interested buyers. But none of them were like for real. They was just kind of kicking the tires, seeing what was going on. So yeah, that's kind of how I did that.
Okay, how you were able to move it by getting the buyer. Now and Shanita said, that's right. It's progress, not perfection. Exactly. So, and let's rewind it a little bit, because you have to have a deal truly to make some money, right? To present it, whether you're partnering with somebody or whether you sourced it. So if we could go back a little bit and talk about your conversation with this property owner turned seller. What was that conversation like? What did you have to defeat?
So I would say I would consider the seller a motivated seller. So our initial conversations was, I think, I can't remember if I made the offer first. I think I might have asked him like what made sense for him, what offer would make sense for him. And he gave me a number. Maybe it was around 5,000. No, I offered 5,000 first. I want to get the story right. Anyways, we ended up settling on 2,000. He offered 5,000. I was like, that's kind of tough. That doesn't exactly make sense for me. How about 2,000? And he said, okay. He said, okay, we could do 2,000. And that's kind of how we came to that. Kind of looking at the comps and looking at how much vacant lots that was similar in lot size was selling around there. I knew that was a number that I needed to be around. And it was a double lot, for 2,000. We got it under contract for $2,000. So woo! That was pretty good. Yeah, it was a pretty good deal.
That is good. So were there any key things that the property owner said to you that kind of gave you the impression that he was motivated? What did he say? Yeah. What were some triggers that you kind of heard in his voice, or words that he said that kind of led you to believe that, okay, this guy's motivated?
Well, number one, he wasn't BSing. Like I said, he was a professional, so he wasn't. What I later found out, because we had multiple conversations, was he bought and sold stuff. He had lots and properties that he bought and sold. So I was fortunate to kind of deal with somebody who was kind of like in the business, you could say, a little bit.
Yeah.
But just his kind of straightforwardness and directness kind of let me know that, he was a motivated seller. and he was just trying to. I know. I asked him if he had any. Do you have any? Are there any liens or anything that you know of against the property? And he was like, no. It's free and clear. But I could just kind of get a feel. I could just kind of get a feel for it. A lot of times. Obviously, there are triggers. Um, as far as if a seller is motivated. But when you making calls constantly and you getting hung up on or getting short, or you just kind of get used to a response of when somebody, like for instance, this is somebody who's not a motivated seller. You know, yeah, make me an offer. You know what I'm saying? Like that's not a motivated seller. That's not a yeah, $3 million, like that's not a motivated seller. So I've obviously ran into them, so you can kind of get a feel for somebody who's motivated to get an opportunity, get a deal done.
Wow, motivation. So, and Shanita asked the question. She said, "Would you say that working with experienced investors would now be your target audience, or who would you prefer to continue down that road, or would you?" And this is getting into the niching thing, which is what you want to do. You want to evaluate your win, find out some things about your win, such as were they a homeowner, were they like a one and done, or are they an investor? Is Look, vacant land versus property with a dwelling on it. I don't know. What are your thoughts after going through this deal? What would you prefer? Because now you have something to base off of.
Right. I think naturally you kind of take to like what kind of brings you into the game. So my first opportunity was a lot, so I naturally kind of have a draw towards land, and I'm kind of looking into doing some new builds, some new constructions coming up soon. I think probably because of that. But yeah, it did help dealing with somebody. He previously was like a contractor. um he did a lot of work in real estate building and things like that, so he was very comfortable in that field. But I wouldn't limit myself to strictly investors because it's just so many opportunities out there. And now I'm in a position. I remember an event that you invited me to where Real Estate Diddy came down. And he said, the three things that he looked for is obviously he said, I'm gonna make a friend, I'm gonna solve a problem, and I'm gonna add value. Right?
Woo!
Yeah. Oh man, that was a bar right there. That was a bar. Hey, and just going back on the question as far as would you want to deal with somebody that's already an investor seasoned, probably be easier to deal with. Yeah, that's good, but when you deal with other people, like when you deal with people that um have no background experience with real estate selling or anything like that, you really have a big opportunity, and you could take it one way or the other. If depending on what type of integrity and character you have, obviously you could try to take advantage of that situation. But there's also an amazing opportunity to add value,
Absolutely.
because you could teach them. That's right. You know what I mean? You can kind of teach them and kind of explain to them how things go, and then that ultimately ends up working in your favor because they see, like, okay, they're telling me stuff. He's telling me stuff that he don't really have to tell me. About different options that I could do right now, or stuff like that. So to answer that question, a niche, not for real. Remember when we was in the course, like I would be like, I was all over the place. I thank God for you because you had to come on back down, come on back down, keep the main thing the main thing. I'm talking about apartments, new construction, owner finance. You like, okay, yeah, all that's good, but let's just first deal in 90 days.
Yep.
But saying that, I am kind of open to everything, and I'm always constantly really educating myself and reaching out to people. I probably messaged you 3 or 4 times to ask you about random stuff, just because I do want to be able to have strategies for whatever. I
Fair
don't want
enough.
to just, yeah, I don't want to just put myself in a box.
Absolutely. So more tools in your toolbox, and we kind of glossed over this, and I think
this show is sponsored by HiveMind CRM. It is more than just a CRM. It is a real estate and business mastermind that comes with an all-in-one CRM. You can have unlimited websites and users. You can call, text, RVM, and email all in one user interface. And you can set up custom automations for any type and multiple businesses. 65% of companies start using a CRM system within the first 5 years of business. Once implemented, the HiveMind will save you on marketing, give you more time, and make more money. One of our users had his first $100,000 month using our system in June. We want to see you automate and accelerate your business. Text us at 210-972-1842 for future meetings, and of course to get our $1 course on how to make more than 6 figures on one land deal. You can schedule your free demo today at hivemindcrm.io.
This is a big hang up for a lot of new people. So I want to rewind it back a little bit again. You touched on when we were first having our first week, whatever, you wanted to be prepared. So you had already went out and brought a list. And I remember you telling me, I already got a list of 100. And I was like, oh, he might do something.
Yeah.
And so what I want you to address for anybody, whether they are blessed to have a coach or program or if they're just out there trying to figure it out, which is a lot of people, how did you get through driving for dollars and building up and really learning your market and making the calls? Because there's so many strategies. You can text, you can call, you can mail, but I really emphasize getting on the phone and having conversations for a number of reasons. How did you get through all of that rejection? Like, how did you realize when you knew the one you had was a one that was ready to do business?
That's a good question. It took time. Like I said, it had been about 9 months. I started around last January, and like I said, I just dove in. I didn't really know anything about anything. I didn't know how to do anything efficiently, or I just went to making calls. I think I was messing with the tax delinquent list. I wasn't really up on driving for dollars like that. I didn't know how powerful the driving for dollars game, how it was. So I was messing with the tax delinquents list, and I was just combing through it, and I was just kind of looking at the values, tax values and stuff, and then I would write it down, and then I would go on maybe True People Search or something like that, and then I would just give them a call. And I don't know, like, it's crazy because I didn't really know what I was doing, but like I said, people was like really engaging with me. Like I was for real, like, like I knew what I was doing. It's like, y'all have no idea. Like I really don't, And but yeah, there was a few times, and I think you could always get a hold to a seller that's just really not in the mood to talk, having a bad day. They might, tell you some unpleasant things. But for the most part, once you do it a lot and you kind of learn how to maneuver your tonality and things like that, you can definitely get a better, a warmer, and I think that's what it is. The more you do it, you kind of figure out, okay, so this is a cold call. It's called a cold call because me and this person have no relationship. They're not expecting me or nothing. This is cold. And you realize, okay, how could I turn this cold call warm, right? Just warm,
Yeah.
And that like takes it to a whole another level, like Diddy, like another thing that Diddy was saying is like, man, y'all sounded like y'all work for what do you say, Verizon or T-Mobile,
That call center vibe.
For real. Hey, can I speak to the property owner of 2822? Like, they are automatically on defense. You know what I mean?
Yes, that's true.
Yeah. So yeah, I just did it, and I definitely remember getting cussed out, getting hung up on. Somebody saying that this is a scam or you whatever, and I would be lying if I said that like it wasn't discouraging,
right.
because it was, because it had like I had to ask myself, like, you know, like, are you like, what are you doing? What's the like, what's your goal? What are you trying to accomplish by this? You know?
Wow.
Yeah. So that was real confrontational, and I just kept doing it. I didn't know that this would lead to this. I just kept doing it. You know, by the grace of God, I just kept going. Got a little bit more rejection, and as time went on, and I realized just how difficult it can be. I actually love it. I love making calls. I can do it all day. You already know. You look at my activity log, you're gonna see 100, 200 calls. I love it. I love it now, you know. But there is a difficulty in it because it's like waves. You know, you may go 30 minutes, 45 minutes without talking to somebody.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Or you might go 30, 45 minutes without hearing any interest. You know, no, I'm not interested, click. No, I'm not interested, click. You know, so it takes, but one thing that I really appreciate that you kind of taught me was the law of numbers, stacking numbers up in your favor. And man, that was a mouthful right there. Like I took that to heart. And it's true. Like it's 100% true. The more, you know, the more you commit to just the process, you can't be caught up in like immediate results because they may not come. You know, every day is not going to be a day that you close a deal or something like that, but it's just about just putting the numbers in because you might go 3 or 4 days without having a meaningful conversation, quote unquote, but then next week a couple of those people, they might hit you back. Hey, it still fell through, you know, you still interested, or hey, I talked to my brother, depending on the price, maybe we can do something, you know. So
so good. So 2 things that I want to make sure that we address too, because this is paramount, I feel like, for new investors. You mentioned the activity log, and you mentioned follow-up. So how, like, because that's a big thing for people on missing a deal, is because so how did that, tell me what that looked like once you realized, oh, this is important.
The activity log, I grew with the activity log. You know that. You know, when you have conversations, you be like, "Where you at? How you looking?" You know, I ain't seeing no action. You know, and that's something I had to activate a series somehow. But that's something that I really had to grow. That I had to grow with is just consistency and commitment. Being that I work full time at the railroad every day, I can't. You know, I would love to sit down 2-3 hours a day, just have that designated time to make calls. You know, I love that, but I don't get that all the time. But still, you have to. You know, you got to commit to it. You know, so yeah, I kind of grew with the activity log, but man, that's one of the greatest resources. Oh my God. Thank you, Jesus. That's one of the greatest resources that I like now that I'm in the process of starting my business up. Like that's absolutely paramount because you can look and see, okay, how many calls did you make a day? How many people answered? How many offers did you make? And you can kind of make a system. You can get an idea of, okay, if I put this is how much roughly it's going to take to get this. If I do this X amount of times, so then it becomes like a formula. You know, it's black and white. You know, it's tangible. You know, so that was crucial. The follow-up game. I mean, the follow-up game, like it has to be on point. My wife told me, I can't remember where she got this from because she's a realtor. She told me that on average, it could take 5 contacts. It could take 5 contacts to get a deal done from beginning to close. And that's about right. I was just looking at in my CRM, I was looking at the profile that I have for this lead, and it shows you every time that you have to document it. But when you talk to them, you know, I might put a missed call X amount of time, or if I speak to them, I just kind of jot some notes down, and you can kind of see how many times you've talked to them through X amount of months, and you see like, oh wow, it took about 4, 5, 6 times, you know. So like the follow-up game has to be strong because you have to make a relationship with them.
Wow.
Like, people ain't just giving away houses. Like, they're not just selling it to random strangers. You know what I'm saying? Like, so you have to make the relationship. So, yep, follow-up game got to be on point. Activity logs, if you're trying to be professional, if you're trying to be efficient, and if you're trying to grow your business, you have to know, you got to have data, you have to have analytics. Otherwise, you're just freestyling and hoping.
No, that's painful. That's painful when you're just putting in activity and you're not tracking it and you don't know where you are. You could be really close to having breakthrough, but because you're not tracking it and have no idea where you are, you just like, I quit. And then lo and behold, somebody else bling, got the deal. Like, that's how easy it is. Yep. That's how that happens. So thank you for breaking that down. So you taught us, and you found that. How did you find the seller? What you were driving for dollars for that particular deal?
That's right, driving for dollars. I seen a lot because I obviously would save properties, but I would save lots too. I'm like, okay, this looks like it could be a lot. This looks like somebody could do something with this, and I just saved it, and I skip traced them. I was using at that time. I think I was using still Need to Skip and True People Search, which is free. And then you kind of told me about batch skip tracing. I use that now for like big lists. But I got the contact. I called them up, spoke to them, hit them with the ditty. Let me tell you what changed the game. Can I share this?
Yeah, go for it, man.
Go ahead.
This man Diddy hit me off with something so fire. He said, right after he was talking about how your tonality and how you get on the phone, you can sound like a bill collector. It's just annoying, energy off. He was like, when he talks on the phone, he always assumed that he's talking to the seller. For instance, I'm calling you. I already did the research because I have the information right here in front of me. I know your name is Brittany Thompson. I know your name is Leon Thompson. So if I call you, as soon as you answer the phone, hey, Mr. Thompson, hey, how you doing today? So that kind of puts you, you know what I'm saying? Like, that kind of puts you, like, first off, like, you might know me. You know what I'm saying? It's a little warmer. And that changed the whole, I don't think I done got cussed out since, honestly. For real. I get hung up on, but, like, I talked to a few people that was like, honestly, it wasn't interested at all. But it's like, honestly, I don't even know why I'm talking to you. Like, I normally, everybody else, I don't know what it is about you. There's obviously nothing, special about me. It's just all about, it's all about strategy. Like, you can fumble and bumble around, or you can get, a little education, take a few notes, and like, it'll go a whole long, like, that changed the game, no lie.
I love it. It's powerful because, okay, so here's the thing. When as a coach, as somebody working with, let's say I'm working with you, right? And I'm teaching you and I'm trying my best to enlighten you, and I'm giving you tips and advice, and you're watching videos, and I say something, right? I'm just giving value. And you say, oh, this is so good, this is great. And then I say, all right, but you're not doing it. Or maybe there's rooms for improvement. But then I make a recommendation, you should check this out. And I think that's what happened. I think there came a season where I was like, look, you need to get out. You need to go to some of these investing meetings and things like that, and network and build relationships. And the stuff that I will tell you, or I would have told you, you hear from somebody else, and it's like, wow. And I'm like, this ain't the first time you heard this. But
hey, don't do me like that.
I'm just saying.
I employ the tactics, all right. But nah, you're right though.
but no, it's nobody gets everything from one. So what I don't want anyone to do that's new or that's looking at getting into, whether it's with us or with anyone else, anyone in the community, you're not going to get everything from one person. Yeah. That's not realistic, because we all have strengths and non-strengths, right? I may be better at the activity, holding you accountable, but you may learn something differently from somebody else because of how they talk or how they relate. And that's powerful. So I love that. One, you follow the system, you were attentive, you watch, but the fact that you were able to get out and network and go to meetings and have community is one of the things that blessed you. Like you just said, it made a tremendous difference for you in your journey.
Yeah, for sure. And just the accountability, that was so important because like you really like basically had to force me to like go. You was like, I don't know what you're doing tonight, but like this is where you need to be at, And I was like, all right, well, I guess I'm going out there. And it was a blessing because just my personality, I'm kind of like introverted, and it was just like I met a brother that is a home builder and investor, super sharp dude. He's actually doing the work on our first renovation.
Huh.
Met him there. And also, like I said, I met other people. I was there to listen to Diddy speak. Man, that brother got some energy. Like, so yeah, and and ever since then, I'm like putting it in my schedule. Okay, like before it was like, all right, well if I'm off and they got something going on, I might go. Now it's like, okay, I need to mark off some time. I talked to my wife like, babe, we need to get a babysitter because we need to go out and network because me and my wife got an inside joke. Say my network is my net. I was trying to say it one day and I just kept saying it wrong. I was like, baby, your network is your network. You know what I'm saying. Your network is your network.
Right.
And that's facts. I spoke at another real estate investing group. I met a brother. Killing it. And he was telling me, he said, like I'm around billionaires, all the time. And if you're hanging around with 5 billionaires, there's a good chance you're gonna be the 6th.
Right.
That's very simple.
Yes.
Like, if you think about it, the concept of that is simple. It's just saying like intentionally putting yourself around people who doing what you want to do, So
I love it. The community, that's powerful. Thank you for listening. Thank you for making, you didn't have the plan originally to do that, but by getting out there, something you did a couple months ago is impacting you right now. And that's just the power of community as an entrepreneur. Because let's face it, a lot of us feel like we're on islands, especially in this investing sector, whether it's wholesaling, flipping, whatever.
Yeah.
We feel like we're by ourselves. So,
yes, it get lonely. You got to go out and talk to people that's doing what you do, so y'all can encourage each other.
Yes.
Yes, it gets lonely.
Yep. The right people. The right
people.
Thank you for breaking it down. So you walked us through how you found it, got it, you closed it, right? Mm-hmm. Now I want to talk about what's going on now. Where is Jared? What you working on, brother?
I'm just trying to. Right now, I'm in the process of building a business. I'm a real estate business, so I'm just trying to do that in a way. I'm trying to do that in a way that puts people over profit. I'm trying to do it in a way that's equitable and that's gonna invest in the community and in the sellers also. Man, I have some big stuff. I got some stuff.
Tell us about
stuff.
Tell the people.
I can't speak on it yet because the Lord told me to keep my mouth shut for right now.
Oh, there you go. There's some wisdom in that.
Yeah. But you're gonna hear, you're gonna be one of the first to know. But I got some stuff going on. But yeah, right now, just trying to build up the business and educate myself. Have a few projects going on. And that's it, really. I'm just trying to get the business on its feet, build it up, get the right people on my team. That's another thing that you was definitely big on was your team, your power team. Got to have a power team. And it's crazy because just naturally when you out and about, you making calls and you going to networking events and stuff, you naturally kind of build your team, So actually, that's what I'm doing right now. I'm in the process of doing that right now. And it's so I'm like going back to like everybody that I've met and just thinking about the experience, the encounter that we had. If I was impressed by something that they did, I'm thinking like, oh yeah, they about to be on my team. They don't even know it. You know, where can I put them to set them up to be successful? You know, how can I, you know, and it's like, it's almost like a coach, you know, it's like an investor, like being an investor, you number one have to invest in people first, you know. So that's where I'm at right now with it.
I'm proud of you, bro. I knew, and I know, you know, when we have our first deals, they could be negative 500 or they could be 500,000. Like, I don't like the fact that you have a blueprint, right? The fact that you can go now. I mean, you tell me, how confident do you feel no matter where you are that you can replicate and do what you did and get, you know, a desired result of closing a deal or holding a rental or whatever? How confident do you feel now versus before?
I'm confident to the point where I know this is who I am now. Like, it's nothing you can't tell me that I can't do. You know, like at first I had, like I told you this the other day, like I had faith. I had strong faith that like I can do this. You know, I had invested a lot into it, and I could see, you know, the benefits of it, and I could see the financial freedom and the generational wealth and being able to invest in others, being able to invest in your community, being able to, as an investor, you can single-handedly alter your whole surrounding. One person. So yeah, there, you know, there was that, and I mean, yeah.
I can do it. I can do it now. I love it. I love it.
Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you for taking time out of your day. I know you could do a bunch of things, and I know I'm on you. You like, I'm not ready. I'm like, yes, you are. People confuse success with the dollar figure. No, no. There is success in wisdom. There is success in the ability. I love that now you feel like you're equipped to go and do what you want to do and fight for your family because now you have a blueprint, and that's beautiful. And I can't wait to really help, at least help put you in the right direction, put you around the right people that I know is gonna take you from where you are to even higher dimensions, which is the point of Get My First Deal. That's the whole point. The point is not to take you from 0 to $1 million unless you just got it like that. The point is to get you your first deal so that you know if this is what you want to do, if this is not what you want to do, and what you need to do to go forward. And I love that. And before we let you go, I really would love, this is a question we ask all of our guests, right? Before they get off, what is one major limiting belief that you overcame in this process of getting your first deal?
I spoke on it a little bit earlier, and that was as far as me being saying to myself that I was like introverted and I don't really like talking to people, and I am naturally introverted, and it does take a great deal of energy to talk to people. It does. That's
like
a
right
fact.
now.
Yeah. But with that being said, I just think when you have a goal and you know where you're trying to get, you are naturally forced to confront, you know, things that you're uncomfortable with. Wow. And that was one of them. And now I look at it, and now like I talk to so many people today, it's crazy, you know. And yeah, so just the idea that, man, I don't know if I'm sociable enough to be successful, because everybody knows real estate is about contact. You know, contacts are major. Your connections, your network. It's like, man, I don't really know if I'm, you know, if I can do this, you know. But you can, you know. And another thing that you was big on is the power of your words. You know, the Bible would say, you know, the power of life and death is in the tongue. I remember I was talking to you one day, and you was coaching me up. You was saying, no, it will go well. You know, you was just encouraging me, and you was basically telling me to, you know, to speak life and not death. And I did that, and it worked out. So ever since then, it's just like, you know, I tell myself, you know, the affirmation is like, it will go well. You will be successful. You will add value. You know, you can do this. You can be sociable, you know, even if that's not your natural, you know, personality. So yeah, that was it. And another thing I remember you telling me was right before closing, you told me, you was like, what you just did from beginning to closing is the key, is the blueprint to being a multimillionaire. And I thought about it, and it was exactly right because of how we did it and because of how you structured it with the step-by-step, these goals, these small goals. Like I was like, yeah, I could do this again. I could do this again. And that's kind of where I got that confidence from, that it can be done and that I can do it.
You got this, man. We already see you making huge progress. You've got some, some you're not to speak on yet that's happening in your future. But man, 100%, you got me to realize that it all takes belief and action. Belief and action, man. And then you took something that you thought was your personality and shifted it to believe because of your goals to say, okay, I might be an introvert, but my personality isn't permanent. That's the book. That's a book out there. Everybody should read that. Your personality isn't permanent. You have this version of you that you believe that you are, but you can change that anytime that you want to change that.
Absolutely.
So
I love
power to you, brother.
I appreciate that so much. Hey, shout out to Leon for the 2-piece. Shout out to Leon for the
2-piece. Y'all cute. Y'all hilarious. I want to jump off, but I want to do this one thing because it's not always about business. I hope it's okay because I didn't ask permission, but I'm gonna do this anyway. You sent a group text the day you closed, sharing how you closed your first deal, but that you wanted to spotlight. Tell the people what you wanted to spotlight. Do you remember what you texted about Leon and I?
No, but I can look it up real quick.
It's okay. Take a second, because
I can give you a quote.
It's important. Somebody needs to hear it. You said, "Hello, everyone. Just wanted to share with you all. I just closed my first deal today. I really want to spotlight B and Leon's marriage and influence. B, I don't know if you know this, but you changed my life. Thank you." When you sent me that, I was in tears. Leon said, "You cannot cry every time somebody sends you a success word." I said, "But yes, I can, because I know that my obedience is going to change somebody's future. It's going to build somebody's empire. It's not about us being successful. It's not about us being quadrillionaires. It's about the impact." And so I wanted this to be a word of encouragement for anybody watching, whether you're trying to figure out if you want to invest, whether you're trying to figure out who you want to go with, what you want to buy, whose program. I want you to ask yourself, is this person, the lifestyle that I see, not what they say, not their student's testimonial, but this person, is this person somebody that if I had their result in my life, I would have peace? Because anybody can buy anything, but do you want to have the same fruit as that person? So I want to leave that out there. I want to let that marinate, because it's not about whether it's $1 or $1 million. It's about that life, right?
Yeah.
And that peace.
The goal to get my first deal and helping 1,000 people get their first deal, it's not about the money. It's about how many lives, families, husbands, wives, single, not single, can we change and impact so that by us helping them, they're changing generational things. They're breaking off curses over their family. And how many other people they're going to influence, impact, changing their mindset. That's what it's about.
So, Jared, do you have any final words or anything you want to share with somebody that's maybe considering jumping in the pool of investing, or just kind of maybe unsure?
The way I describe investing is anything that you can think of or that you can imagine can be done. Only if you use what you have. Really, use what God gave you. Use where you are, where you working. What skill sets do you have? Your creativity. I mean, creativity is like everything, because if you can think about it's about problem solving. How can I get this done? What's a way that I can get this done? So, if you can just be creative, there's a way to get anything done, to accomplish whatever's on your mind. You can do it. So, in Jesus' name.
Amen. Amen, brother. I love it. I love it. So thank you, Jared. I'm proud of you, bro. I know that you've got so much more coming your way. You're talking about development. You're talking about construction. You're talking some stuff that you wasn't even talking originally. So I can't wait to just see what God does to you and through you. And for everyone out there, if you're interested in investing in real estate and you don't know where to start, you don't know, you just don't know what you don't know, and you're feeling overwhelmed, I really want you to feel encouraged to go to getmyfirstdeal.com and register for our free masterclass on how to find, get, and close your first deal in 90 days or less. Look, if you get there and you like it, join the challenge. We have a challenge starting on March the 7th. And I want to have you in, and I want to show you how easy it is. And no matter what you decide to do, at least you know this is for you or this is not for you. So go to getmyfirstdeal.com and register today. Jared, thank you, brother, for taking time out, for doing things that make you incredibly uncomfortable. But I promise you, your obedience will be rewarded.
Thank y'all so much.
The show is sponsored by The List Guys. Do you need more leads in your local or virtual market? 1 in 10 small businesses don't invest in any kind of marketing. The List Guys have over 35 plus list types to choose from, and you can mix and match any list or criteria. We also use the skip trace list and provide up to 7 numbers and email addresses. Every list you purchase will be scrubbed against previous purchases. The List Guys are here to save you time. Contact the List Guys today at www.1listguys.com. That's www.1listguys.com.
Love you, man. All right. Tell the fam and the kids we say hey, and we'll be talking soon, brother. Peace.